Hello guys, welcome to this section. And previously we talked about them, and today we'll quickly remind ourselves before going to plotting them. Now, a linear equation again is an equation that has the maximum power of 1, which means the power of x in the equation is 1. So we cannot have power of 2, 3, 4. If it's power of 2, it's a quadratic equation. If it is power of 3, it is what? A cubic equation. You can also have powers of 4, quartic equation, and so on and so forth. But for today, we are still considering linear equations, and these are equations with what? Powers of 1. Now let's look at an example of the linear equation. The general form of the linear equation. Okay, graphing linear equation. Graphing linear equations. All right. So the general form of the linear equation is y is equals to mx plus c. So this is the general form of a linear equation. Now the y is a function of x related. Y and x are related by the slope m, and c is the y-intercept. Now for us to plot this linear equation on the coordinate system, we need the following. We need to know the following. 1, we should know the slope of the equation, and then we should know the y-intercept, where the line cuts the y-axis. Now once we have this information, we can easily plot the line on the coordinate system. Now let's talk a bit about the slope. The slope of the linear equation is also referred to as the rise over the run. The rise over the run. And also, we can also call it the change in y, the y coordinate, over the change in the x coordinate. So this is the slope. Now, if you have a graph like this is the slope. The change in the y by the change in the x. Noting that, taking note of the fact that this is the y coordinate and this is the x coordinate. Now, if you have a coordinate system like this, your graph, the x and the y coordinate, this is the y coordinate, this is the x coordinate. This point is what we call the origin, 0, 0, which means x is 0, y is 0. Now, for you to plot points on the coordinate system, we have what we call a set of ordered points. Now, for every point you plot on the system is treated as a set of ordered points with the x coordinate written first, followed by the y coordinate. So this is how we plot points on the coordinate system. Now, we normally start by calibrating the axis. Put your numbers on the axis. We can pick this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Then to the left of the origin on the y-axis are the negative x values, -1, -2, and so on. To the right are the positive x values. Now on the y-axis, upward above the origin are the positive y values, 1, 2, 3, and so on. And then downward below the origin, we have the negative y values, -1, -2. So this is the negative coordinates, negative part of the y-axis, and this is the positive part of the y-axis. Now, when we have this information at hand, we can now easily begin to plot any line on this coordinate system. Now, let's consider the first example. Example 1. If we are to plot this line, y equals to, let's say, 2x plus 3, we will look at 4 examples to cover, which generally cover every of the concept on plotting. With this, you can plot any of the lines at all. So we will look at 2x minus 3. We will also look at a third example, y is equal to negative 2x plus 3. And finally, the fourth one we'll look at today will be y is equal to negative 2x negative 3. So these lines, we totally cover all the principles, all the ideas of plotting lines on the coordinate system. Now let's look at the first one. Y equals to 2x plus 3. Now you see 3 is the what? The y-intercept. So this is where the line will cut the y-axis. Now it's positive, take note of that. So it will cut the y-axis at the point 3, positive 3 at this point. Now you now look at the slope. As I told you earlier, for you to plot any line, any linear equation of the coordinate system, you need to know the slope and you need to know the y-intercept. Now we know the y-intercept as 3, positive 3, and then the slope as positive 2. Now, the slope, as we said earlier, is what? Rise over run. So the slope in this case, positive 2, is simply plus 2. We can write it as 2 over 1. 2 over 1 is still 2. So we want to put it in terms of changing y over changing x. So this implies that we have a run of 2 from the y-intercept from this 3. We'll go up 2 points, and then this is a rise of 2 and a run of 1. Because the run is positive 1, we'll go to the positive x-axis. So this is 1. So the point will be here. This point. So these are the 2 points. We need to plot that line. So it will simply just be what? You join these 2 points together. And that will give you what? The line y equals to 2x plus 3. Now let's buttress the fact by plotting the second point. To plot this second line, look at the intercept, negative 3. So negative 3 is down here. So the line will pass through this point on the y-axis. Now, where is the slope? The slope is what? Positive 2, which means we'll rise from this point 2 points up, rise 2 points, this is positive, and then to the positive x-axis by 1 point, so to this point. So this is the point, the second point. So we'll join the 2 points together, and then we have the line y equals to 2x minus 3. Let's look at the third example. So for this case, the slope is negative 2 and the intercept is positive 3. So again, the line is going to cut through the y-axis at positive 3, but this time around the slope is what? Negative 2. So the slope is what? We can write it in terms of changing y over changing x as what? Negative 2 over 1. So negative 2 over 1 is the same thing as negative 2. So this means we will have a run of negative 2 and a rise of negative 2 and a run of 1. So from this positive 3, when the rise is negative, we'll go down below it. So 1, 2, go 2 points below, and then the run is positive 1. We'll go to the positive x-axis one place, and we'll have the point there. So just join the 2 points together. We have your line y equals to negative 2x plus 3. And finally, for today, the line y equals to negative 2x minus 3. Now again, the line is going to cut the y-axis at negative 3, and the slope is negative 2. Now, again, just as we said, put it in this form, the slope as negative 2 over 1. So from the intercept on the y-axis, we'll go down 2 places. 1, 2. That's the negative 2. Then the 1 is positive. The run go to the right, and we'll have the point here. So we'll just join these 2 points together, and that gives us the line y equals to negative 2x, negative 3. Now, if you look at it carefully, you'll see that line, the first and the second line are parallel because they have the same slope. The only difference is their intercept, the y-intercept. One passes through the positive 3, the other through the negative 3. I also look at the line 3 and 4, and they are also parallel because they have the same negative slope of 2, but the difference is the y-intercept, which is at positive 3 and negative 3. So this covers all kinds of lines you can have in linear equations. You can plot any of these lines using these ideas. I will encourage us to share this video like it, tell your friends about it, and subscribe to this channel, and follow us, and then you will begin to get more interesting and educative information from us. As we progress, we will have more of this content coming your way. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.